That's good. Good band.
They've played before.
They have played quite obviously. They learn how to play music. You saw Billy Elliot, didn't you?
I went to see Billy Elliot. There was a special showing in Southampton for the NSPCC, and we just went very recently and loved it.
Oh,
and you were fab, of course.
Oh, thank you.
It was great, and I really think that Stephen Daldry's got a future as a director.
Yeah,
too.
got a bit of a future.
It's
Don't you
awesome.
think?
I think, yeah.
It's set in your neck of the woods too, isn't it, of course? So it'll be very nostalgic for you, Tyneside.
The back lanes.
The back lanes.
Playing football with a tennis ball.
All that.
and all
That's
of that,
where you grew up and learned about music. Who were your musical inspirations?
Well, when I was very small, I suppose Lonnie Donegan and my Uncle Kingsley.
Your Uncle Kingsley. Lonnie Donegan I've heard of. Your Uncle Kingsley Hampson. He didn't make any records.
Kingsley had a harmonica and a banjo, and he played. He'd play "Runaway Train" for me on the harmonica, and I used to love it. And so I sing it to my own little baby daughter now because just it's like time going round. Yeah. And he had a piano which he played boogie woogie on. And when I heard boogie woogie, which is 3 chords, and I've never been very good at maths, but the 3 chords I could really understand, and these just blocks of logic just went bang, 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 and I thought, this is for me, and it's just do 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 do, and then my poor parents, I just tortured them for years, just thumping. I said, "Will you stop that thumping?" And it was bad. This is not Jules Holland we're talking. This is bad boogie.
Bad boogie. But were they not supportive then of your ambition to be a rock musician, or?
Oh yeah, I think once they realised that I wasn't going to be a proper musician at all.
What was a proper musician? What did they think that was? A violinist or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to play the piano lessons. Once you hear it, then once I'd heard it, I would play it. So I could never read the music, and so as soon as I had to read it, I couldn't do it. So I just went back to the boogie woogie again, and then for the next 20 years or so, and it was the same with. They tried violin. I mean, it was a washout, really.
Get a hold of that guitar there. This was the first guitar. I mean, how intent were you on getting a guitar? I mean, was it
I wanted one so bad. I mean, when I was this big, I wanted a white plastic one with a picture of Elvis on the head. But I wanted to be Elvis. I used to turn my collar up when I was in short trousers, and there's a school picture of me somewhere trying to do Elvis's smile, and people are saying, "Is there something wrong with your jaw? You look as though you dislocated your jaw."
Can you do it now?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So yes, no, and I was desperate for a guitar, like the red one I've just played, after Hank Marvin's The Shadows, but after it was a £50 stretch for my dad to get a copy of one. It was a cheaper one, and that was a big stretch for him in those days. So I didn't have the nerve. I actually didn't have the heart to ask him for an amplifier. And I think I don't even know how long I knew that I realised you had to actually have an amplifier. But I thought maybe you plugged them into the wall or something like that. But anyway, I realised you had to have an amplifier eventually, and I didn't have the heart to ask him. So I got the little bit of wire and I got it adjusted with a little red bit and a little black bit, and the local electricians, and plugged it into the radio. And I got 1.5 watts of seething power, and then I blew it up in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Let's talk about writing songs. I mean, how do you go about it? I mean, there's a song on your new CD called "Baloney" again.
Well, baloney is like American spam, really.
Yeah.
And I was reading the liner notes for a gospel record, Fairfield 4, a little black gospel group based in Tennessee, and the chap who wrote the liner notes was saying something like, well, it might have often had to have been a bologna sandwich in the car rather than a steak in a white restaurant, or sleeping in the hotel. You might have to sleep in the car and all that. When they were touring the southern states in the 50s. Right. And that's all I needed. And I would just, and I thought of a harmonica bit, that would go. And then the band sort of comes in. actually used some gospel singers type, you know. We don't eat in no white restaurant. We're eating in the car. Bologna again. Bologna again. We don't sleep in no white hotel bed. We're sleeping in the car. Bologna again. You don't strut around in these country towns. You best stay in the car. Look on ahead, don't stare around. You best stay where you are. You're a long way from home, boy. Don't push your luck too far. Bologna again. You said it, etc.
Let's swap guitars now. This was on the cover of one of your albums, isn't it? This one. This
Yeah,
guitar.
this actually, it's a bit of a shame that it was, because apparently it pushed the price up. Something rotten of them, but
Just make this sound. It's a lovely sound.
yeah, it's not like a wooden guitar or an electric guitar. It's just got its own thing. But I've found a little shape there one day, and just got a. And so on.
Right, now finally, the big finale now, this one. This is a serious guitar. This is what you can afford when you're a very rich rock musician, right?
Yeah, I wanted one of these so badly when I was a boy. These and the Fenders. You know, this is a Gibson Les Paul, and I wanted a Fender Strat and I wanted a Gibson Les Paul. I used to smell the catalogues, you know. it's a shame. It's a shame.
That's lovely.
It's a shame.
I
I still know what a Fender catalogue. I mean, and I still say Fender is one of the most beautiful words in the English language. But
Tell us about Money for Nothing, which is one of the most famous songs you wrote, and where that came from.
Well, I was in New York, and I was in a kitchen appliance store, and there you go. I mean, like you are, you know, and it had a kitchen window display in the window, and then there'd be a row of microwaves or, you know, cookers and things like that, and then at the back of the store was a big wall of televisions, all tuned to MTV, and there was some bonehead who worked for the store. A great big macho guy with a check shirt on and a cap and a pair of work boots, and he'd been delivering stuff at the back, and he was watching MTV, and he was saying all these great lines about, you know, that ain't working, you know, that's the way you do it, and stuff like that. And what's that Hawaiian noises he was saying, and so I just thought it was so classic that I went and asked for a pen and paper and started writing the lines down, you know, and then when I started putting it to music, again, that old finger and something, it's sort of a double, you know.
Thank you. So, the new album's called Turn to Philadelphia. So kind of a new phase in your life now. The Dire Straits, the big stadium days have gone now.
Well, I think maybe the stadium, although, I mean, we got together to do the Mandela, thing at Wembley, and then we got together not so long ago, actually, because John, my great mate in the band, got married to his longtime girlfriend, and we had to get together for that as well. And I was best man. I had 2 speeches during the day, and I had to play in the band. I was great. I had a few drinks, but it was pretty good.
All right.
So, I mean, if there's a good reason, definitely.
You'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all the best of the record.
Thank you very much.
Mark Knopfler, thank you
Thanks
very
for
much
having
indeed.
me.
Mark Knopfler.
Thank you.